I'm John Green. I'm the Executive Director of the Augustinian Defenders of the Rights of the Poor, also known as A.D.R.O.P, and I've been here since September of 2024. We have three primary positions that are sort of a day-to-day kind of management. The Unity Clinic, which runs once a week in this building where the A.D.R.O.P office is located up on the third floor. Tuesday nights, we have a clinic for people who are under or uninsured to get primary health care. It's for adults, and most of the people who access that clinic are from this immediate neighborhood in the community. But we're a low barrier clinic, so people can access it if they're in need. We also have an education program, and there are 3 different classes that run each week. And they offer the opportunity for people to learn English. They can be learning English from scratch. They could be improving on the English that they already know. And we have one Ignatian volunteer named Joan who teaches these classes on Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. We also have a former Villanova student named Samuel who teaches on Wednesday night with some other folks. And that's a different kind of a class where it's sort of a co-teaching model. People are learning English, and also students from Villanova come in and they're learning Spanish. And so that's a really neat model. Our third program is what we do in the realm of criminal justice and reform. And there's a lot of smaller things that can come out of that at different times. But our weekly offerings involve support type meetings. We have the A.D.R.O.P group that runs on Thursday nights, and that's for people who have been incarcerated and are now out and looking to get back into the community. They might be looking to stabilize in housing or with work and employment, but they're also looking for some spiritual support and guidance, and they get that at that meeting. Mary, Mother of Captives is another program that falls into that realm, and that's for people who have family members that are either currently incarcerated or have been incarcerated, and they create a community together where they can offer support and lean on one another and also pray together. A.D.R.O.P is a really interesting position. As the executive director, I'm in charge of managing the budget, making sure bills get paid, making sure people have what they need to do the jobs that they do. And I am also the person who can take the trash bag and out of the trash can and, make sure things are sort of cleaned and up and running. And so you run the whole gamut. You're on the whole spectrum of things in this role. So I learned about A.D.R.O.P because in my previous position, I was in charge of finding service opportunities for retirees to do 1 or 2 days a week. Sometimes in their profession that they retired from. And so I found out about A.D.R.O.P and met my predecessor, Lacey, and had an interview with her and Joan Aspen, who has continued at A.D.R.O.P in her ESOL teaching position. But we met in January of 2020 and talked about taking Joan, who is a music teacher by trade, and seeing if she could teach English as a second language to a group of participants in South Philly. And we made that connection, and Joan started working for A.D.R.O.P, and Lacey and I started collaborating together as people running nonprofits in the city. And that was 5 years ago. So I've worked with A.D.R.O.P that amount of time. Lacey and I also have some friends and other people in common outside of here. And so when Lacey said that she was going to leave her position, I had come to know and love A.D.R.O.P. We would have retreats here. We would do different things together. And so that is what brought me to A.D.R.O.P and applying for the position, which I am now in. I was born in Northeast Philadelphia, and then raised in Bucks County. Catholic schools for grade school and high school. I went to Widener University, but when I was at Widener, my brother was at St. Joe's University and asked me what I was going to do when I graduated. I was a psychology major. I didn't know what to do with that and had thought about the Peace Corps and some other things, but he let me know about what they call the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, which is similar to the Augustinian Volunteers, which ran for a long time. I joined JVC and was sent to Portland, Maine for a year. And it was my first experience with social work as a profession. I was working in a transitional homeless shelter for people with mental illness. From that job, I did some street outreach with people who were struggling with housing insecurity. Also did some HIV work after that, and was sort of my indoctrination to becoming a social worker. I went back to Boston College and got a master's in social work and have a clinical license that I've maintained to this day. But I think that those early discussions with guidance counselors and in college about what my life and profession would look like, I just always knew I wanted to be in a helping profession and help people who were in need. And I knew I didn't want to go to medical school. So that's kind of how I wound up in this role. I have to say that I am fairly moved by the environment that we've created with the Unity Clinic. And so anybody that wants to think about what it's like to go to the doctor, you go in, maybe you know the person at the front desk and you have a friendly exchange, and you go in and maybe you see the physician's assistant, and then maybe you see the doctor, and then you wrap up and take what you need with you and you move on. The Unity Clinic is a community. It's a place where people come in and they know the other people who are there, and they're supporting one another in the community to maintain their health and to stay on track. But they also feel very safe here when they're accessing those medical services in a way that you would in a community center. So I think the impact in that way is pretty great. And it's a model that could be, I believe it could be replicated in other parts of the city or even outside the city. And I hope that we can do that someday. There is also a real community aspect to the criminal justice reform groups that we run. I've been to the meetings for A.D.R.O.P and Mary Mother of Captives, and these are people that really know and support one another. And I've had some time to think about what it would be like to need support around a family member being in jail, and how you would talk about that, how you would address that with your friends or family members, whether or not it's something that people want to keep quiet around, or it's something that you really need to process. And I think that taking those steps and those risks and learning how to do that in a safe community is something that helps people be able to do that outside. And we, I think, do that. We set that up well for people to learn those skills. So, I took Spanish in high school, and I took it a little bit in college. And this many years later, I don't speak the language. I can understand some things and have certain level of proficiency, but by no means can I speak or communicate with other people. And being in Joan and Samuel's classes not only has brought this back up for me, but it has made me want to learn more, to be able to really improve on this. And I think it's the environment that they create for people, where there are folks that are committed to learning English and being able to contribute with that language in our community. And they're very committed to it, and it's wonderful to see. But I also think it makes other people want to learn additional languages as well. And I think that that's a really good thing that we provide. So the Tole Leje Day, this is my first one. So I've been reading and learning and thinking like in a contemplative way, like, well, how does this apply? What does this mean? And what I am sort of in awe by is how many of the things that we do at A.D.R.O.P that really go back to reading and picking up new information. And, if you're in a class, you're learning a new language, you're learning new words, you need to write things down, but you need to read about the stuff that you're wanting to accomplish in that class. But when you think about the medical clinic, I mean, we have physicians, nurses, students, and they're reading histories of people's medical charts and figuring out where they are today so that they can be healthier tomorrow. And it's all about that sort of research in advance, and then also staying current with things as you provide care to our patients. The groups that we offer to support, many of those involve reading scripture or reading the gospel and thinking about what the messages are and how you can journal about that and take that into your daily life and make that a meaningful message that helps you live your day to day. So Tole Leje is like that take up and read is something that is so weaved into what we do in all facets of what we do at A.D.R.O.P. But when people donate to A.D.R.O.P., they're donating to make people's lives better. And everybody has struggles. Everybody is trying to get through their day to day. And some people have access to more than others. And when you are coming from a marginalized group or you're experiencing oppression, you need some help. And sometimes that donation that can offer what people need by what we're providing at A.D.R.O.P. Is just that little bit of step up that they need to get by and to succeed and be successful. And so your donations really go a long way when they come to A.D.R.O.P. One of the things that's really important to me is I'm so grateful for your donations, but I would like to get to know you as well. I would like to know who the person is behind the support that we receive. And so I set my own schedule. I can have coffee. I can come by for a bite to eat. We can meet up somewhere. You could stop by the office and I can show you around and tell you a little bit more about me and what we do. I want you to feel like you're a part of the difference that we're making through A.D.R.O.P. And that can be through your financial support, but it can also be giving your time or just being a support to me as we do this hard work. So feel free. I would love to meet you. I would love to get together with you. Reach out. Happy Tole Leje Day.